What's going on, fellow zombies? Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? It's only about seven. It's only about 8:42 in the morning, West Coast time, on a Tuesday, the 28th, 2026. Shout out to the Church Without Walls, Reverend Ed Trevors. Shout out to a friend of mine on Facebook, Jimmy Ho. Shout out to everybody else out there. An article came up that was talking about something that happened back in '92 that was bringing out the memories, the feelings, the nightmares. And they got twisting with a knife in there somewhere. About how Los Angeles got torn itself apart and a riot situation being repeated since 1960s. This was an anniversary when all hell broke loose in San Fernando Valley. Oh, not just the San Fernando Valley, but Southland at this point. Florence and Normandy being the ground zero, and it's spread out like crazy in different neighborhoods in Orange County, Los Angeles County. Not quite sure about San Bernardino or San Diego or Santa Barbara for that matter, or even Ventura. There may have been a few, just didn't bother to follow it. But when the Rodney King trials were over and the four officers were acquitted in April, around the state, all hell broke loose when anger, frustration took its toll and unleashed. To this day, we're still paying the price on it. To this day, we're dealing a price on it. If the exhibit's still there, and I hope to God it still is, if they still have the exhibit of hate, I hope that the Museum of Tolerance out in Los Angeles would have it, because it would show the darker nature. It's not just the 1960s, but the 1992 showed a lot of our darker nature, and how ugly things can be. Makes one want to throw up. At the time of 1992, I was living in what they call Sepulveda, but these days they're called the North Hills, close to the Van Nuys Airport. Now, guys, if you've been watching my channel, sometimes I have taken you through the Google Maps. So once more, I'm going to take you to the Google Maps. Get a general overview of what I'm talking about. For those who know what I'm talking about, I'm taking you to the Google Maps anyway, because I still have that on my screen right now. I'm not showing it to you right now. You have to look at it yourself. So type out the San Fernando Valley, California, and you'll see the unusual bowl shape. That kind of reminds me of Australia. For those of you who are familiar with what this place looks like, this is nostalgia knifing me in the gut right now. Because every time I look at this place, I've got memories of 38 years. Places have already gone already. But it's still home that I look at, that I'm still trying to make comfort with. And 1992 was hard enough anyway, because I'd heard neighborhoods burning up. One thing when you're watching it on television, you think, wow, it's not happening to you until you hear yelling and screaming outside. Then you know it's real. We didn't hear any shots fired, but there could have been. If there was, we weren't hearing it. My brother had been working at an oil refinery out in South Central somewhere. Maybe Linwood. And he was in an area where we had several jurisdictions crisscrossing each other to the point where he couldn't go out of the building just to even get a smoke for 5 minutes. He works in an environment that one spark and say goodbye to the whole neighborhood. that he had a scanner and he was keeping track what was going on around him. And he was telling me it was terrifying for him. Yeah, he had been dealing with other situations when he was in the military, but this one really caught him by surprise. And we were also worried about what the hell was happening in our own neighborhood. We heard yelling and screaming, but we didn't hear anybody running around with torches or anything else like that. But in different areas of the San Fernando Valley on the east side and a little bit on the west, we were having hearing it. Sunlight went up. I mean, that areas, Coima had some stuff. Van Nuys, North Hollywood. It was all anger and frustration. I looked at Normandy and Florence during that time. And surrounding communities were going up in smoke. Channels were going on different areas. Copters were busy. Ground crews. They were trying to get interviews from other people and trying to get some footage without trying to get their news vans bug bombed or something. But even they had a problem concerned about navigating left and right. Seeing the tension build up beforehand for 3 or 4 months. And we're watching this on the television. Every day that they had the court, there was testimony after testimony after testimony, arguments here and there. But one could feel the tension building in 1992. That would blow up in people's faces in late April. Started from a drunken driver going on a Holy Terror on the 210 and getting pulled off, and then by a park area where there was residential homes in the territory. One guy pulls out a video camera. It shows what the hell was going on. And everything else going hell in a handbasket during that day. Nobody could figure it out what the hell was going on when they saw this. Some people just thought, well, it's just police brutality, but now caught on camera. Maybe we got something on film that we could actually tell the world about, or at least the elected leaders. The cops would get the reports. They would get the complaints. Maybe stuff was written about in the papers and buried alive, or maybe it was talked about, but nothing televised. Not until that videotape that came out. And then all hell broke loose. No venue in the surrounding areas would take this one except Simi Valley. LA County wouldn't touch it, either would Orange County wouldn't touch it, San Diego, Northern California wouldn't touch it. It was out of their territories. They weren't going to do it. But Simi Valley would. Ventura County would touch it. And they turned it into a news frenzy, a feeding frenzy of information. They turned a courthouse area, Simi Valley Courthouse, into a land of insanity. It was terrifying. Watching this shit happen. Municipal would have been one thing. at this place. I think it was the East County Courthouse that they had, or municipal. But it was all in the same damn area. To my friend on the East Coast, Mr. Jimmy Ho. If you're using your map app again, you typed out the Simi Valley Courthouse, you would have seen that they had two particular buildings over there. One's the East County Courthouse and the Municipal Court, all in the same territory. And look upon the area as calmly as it is. And when you look at the parking areas, part of those parking areas that you would see would be Television City of mobile trucks with the big antennas and parabolics. And people camping out just to have a glimpse of what was going in and what was going out. And getting everything on tape. Getting everything recorded. If we actually had the digital technology back then, it would have saved them a hell of a lot of the VHS, but still. They were watching and they were taping. And watching this day by day by day. Was it Glenn Walker from Fox 11? No, not Glenn Walker. Christopher? Oh, good Lord. Give me a couple of seconds on this one, guys. Okay. Reporter from KTV during Rodney King trial 1992. I want to know. I'm doing a reporter from KTV. Yeah, my is that what I feel they was listening? That's for damn sure. And I just wanted to make sure that I got the right information there. That's not CNN. Because I wanted to see who the local guy was. Who was always watching this thing. There was a Peabody Award on this one. The LA Times has it in the archives, and so does Peabody Awards. So we'll go to Peabody Award, or yeah. I just want to see first what they have, then they'll do LA Times. They'll probably ask me, why was this so important? Because I was there. Not in Simi Valley, but I was watching this damn thing happen and all hell breaking loose. There's staff writers. Oh shit, I already got that one. I already signed up for the damn thing already. Chris Harris. I was trying to remember that guy's name, Chris Harris. I gotta get a PDF on the story here. Chris Harris. KTTV, before it got owned by Fox, was doing day by day, ignoring regular programming, and everybody was watching. They said the ratings went up for a long while. It was minute by minute gavel action. They would have some commercial breaks when there was a break going on. just to keep the sponsors happy. But this was nuts. Chris Harris. I remember watching this during this time. And he and a few others, Dave Bryan and Jane Wells, were doing a programming note on this one. They even had, who was it? Larry Cross? Yeah. That was him. But they were all watching this. So KTTV was the channel to watch this thing. And it was news that was happening, guys. I was living in, as I said before, in what they called North Hills now, but back then it was called Sepulveda. People had a problem concerning about that neighborhood. Let me see if I can get back into there again. I'm going to head back over to the San Fernando Valley, head over to what the whole home was. So I'm heading over to Van Nuys Airport neighborhood, right above it, and look at the whole area between Parthenia, Nordhoff, and along the street called Woodley. You guys know the neighborhood. You guys know what landmarks to look for. How about the VA Medical Center of Sepulveda, been on a hill? Just follow that street on its right, all the way down. And in that crowded area was home. Home. At the time, I was on disability for about a year. And stayed home, worked with my mama. We would watch the news in between clients. We didn't have any clients we were watching, but we still had clients coming in, and paperwork still had to be done, and news was on the television in the living room. Ma would deal with her clients. I'd have to deal with the paperwork afterwards. And even the clients would stay for a few minutes to watch before they had to rush back home. I was going to say something about this neighborhood here, but let me do it for another part on this one, okay? Part 3. That being said, I'm just doing about 20 to 25 minute increments on my taping over here, so forgive me guys on this one. It's about 9 o'clock right now.